What's going on, guys? We are only a week away till that wonderful time of year, Husker football season. That time of year where, as fans, we are nervous, apprehensive. Some of us are drinking the Kool-Aid. Some of us are like, "Oh, I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to get hurt again." But it's that time of year. We are 1 week away from the Huskers open there at Arrowhead Stadium against Cincinnati. And I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm really hoping that the team is going to do amazing. I got a bunch of data I've got pulled up here from doing my research and whatnot on the team this year, as well as, you know, record predictions, all that good stuff. Um, so, yeah, we're going to break into it, but let's talk a little bit how this season is going to go with the channel. I think I'm going to do only one video a week. And what I'll do is I'll break down the game that just happened. Usually I'm going to try and do this on Sundays, get it out and whatnot. So the game that happened Saturday night, next day I'm, going to do the video. That way I have time to kind of think and gather my thoughts, see what other people are saying a little bit, so I get, in case I, forget something, I can do a little bit of research. I'll break down the game. And then after that, what I'll do is I will move into, talking about the next week's game and how I think that will go. My schedule is extremely busy. I just started a startup this summer, making glass jewelry in a kiln. Enjoying that. I'm hoping that eventually grows into something with glass blowing and glass sculpture, but the equipment for those things is very expensive. So it'll be a little while. If you're interested in, the glass jewelry, guys, if you're interested in, getting some glass jewelry for your wife, girlfriend, mother, aunt, sister, whatever, check out houseofjoyglassworks.com. It will be semi-sponsoring this channel as well. That's where I got all the stuff. Business is veteran owned. It's local right here in Nebraska. And, some of the stuff's kind of cool. So, makes great gifts. Holidays are coming. They're a few months away. So, or maybe there's a birthday or anniversary or something like that. You want to give them something kind of cool, kind of special. Check it out. So, with that little plug there, let's get into, Husker football. What we came here for. We wait all summer, all spring and summer long for. It's good to be back. This this time of year I'm going to be really, really busy doing the business, going back to school at University of Nebraska Kearney. Like I said, I'm only going to have time for like one video a week. So just know what I have time for. It's what I'm going to be able to give you guys. And yeah, and how about them Huskers last season? I know I didn't make a video for the bowl game. Sorry, guys. I should have, but I was so busy at the time, I just couldn't get it done. It feels good. We got that monkey off our back of winning a bowl game again. Going to a bowl game again and winning. We got that monkey off our back, it feels so good. Doesn't it, guys? It feels good. However, and this season, I have seen so much predictions. There are a lot of sports writers out there who are definitely drinking the Kool-Aid when it comes to Nebraska. And I'm kind of excited about that. I really am. So, this is year 3. I got all my stuff up here. So, if I'm looking up here, it's because I'm making sure I got the information right. So, year 3 under Matt Rule. This should be, usually under Matt Rule, this is a defining year. This is when his teams make that. big jump. We saw a little bit of it last year. I think this year it's going to be even bigger jump. And at least I'm really, really hoping. I'm praying like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I think we all are as far as this goes. Um, Nebraska's roster this season is deeper in most areas. There are some areas that are a little concerning, but it is a lot deeper. The offensive staff has been overhauled with Dan Holgerson taking over and whatnot as offensive coordinator, and he's promising some explosiveness as far as the offense goes. We got Dylan Raiola back at quarterback. He's definitely the clear centerpiece of that whole mix. Let's see, the defense is younger, but it's athletic. And while special teams, they're adding a genuine weapon and a punter, Archie Wilson from Australia. I've got a little bit of the footage of some of the stuff he can do that's out there. And let me tell you, this kid's wild. Seems like he can kick with either foot, and it seems like he can just put that ball wherever you want him to put that ball. This kid's gonna be a weapon. He's gonna be a threat. Now, as far as where we sit in the polls and all that stuff, Nebraska is receiving preseason votes, but just outside the top 25. And predictive systems like SP Plus have the Huskers sitting in the 30 to 35 range nationally. This is suggesting that the team is on the cusp of a breakthrough. Not yet in championship contention, but who knows? They might just do it. So who are some key players to watch? Obviously, we have sophomore quarterback Dylan Raiola. He's a former 5-star and is Nebraska's most indispensable player. His growth under Holgerson could push the Huskers to a 9 to 10 win season if he delivers consistently. And I really want him to. Like, you have no idea. Like, I'm trying really hard not to drink the Kool-Aid. Trying. But it's so tempting. But so Dylan's got quite a bit going on. We got wide receiver Dane Key. He's a junior. He's a transfer from Kentucky. He's big bodied. And he potentially gives Raiola a very reliable outside target. Which is something that we need. Then we got wide receiver Isaiah Hunter. I don't know. I think that's how you say his name, Isaiah, something like that. He's a transfer from SoCal. And there's also wide receiver Troy Barney, who's a sophomore. These guys are vertical threats, which will help, kind of stretch the defenses out a little bit for us. Hopefully open up some stuff, inside and that sort of thing. Then we got tight end Carden Nelson, sophomore. He's a Nebraska native. He's a year stronger, and he's poised to be a featured option. Then we got running back Emmett Johnson Jr. Emmett Johnson, he's a junior. Leads a balanced back. He's leading a balanced backfield out there, and we have Vincent Benetone providing depth. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I probably just butchered that, but you got Vincent Gentone, kind of, providing, a little bit of depth there. Old line additions, we got Elijah Pritchett from Alabama and Rocco Spindler from Notre Dame. They joined a veteran line with 120 plus combined starts. Now on D line, we have Cameron Linhart, sophomore. He's poised to be the headliner of a bunch younger defensive fronts. But again, our defense front is younger. But They're very athletic, so that puts something in there. Last but not least, the weapon from down under, the kid who can kick with both feet, Archie Wilson, true freshman. He came to us through Pro Kick Australia, and he's got he kicks rugby style. He can use both feet. Coach Rule even was quoted as saying, "I could watch Archie punt all day. It's like watching a YouTube short." You know, he did have a little bit of emotion going on with with his press conference and missing his family, but luckily, from what I understand, his family is coming up for the first few games and whatnot, so he'll be able to spend some time with them, and hopefully that helps him out. So let's break down this season game by game. We open up in Arrowhead in Kansas City against Cincinnati. Neutral site. From what I hear, it's going to be a sea of red. Like, apparently, Husker fans bought a vast majority of the tickets, so neutral site. I predict that to be a win. To note, we got Raiola plus a wide receiver core, giving Nebraska an edge. And we also got Archie Wilson flipping the field as well. Also, from what I hear, Archie Wilson can maybe do a little bit of running and throwing too. So, it might be one of those deals where you never know exactly what he's going to do, which could be interesting. All right. By the way, if you're wondering where I got this cup I'm drinking from, I actually made it in Glassball Classic UK. So then September 6th, we got Akron at home. Again, I'm going to predict this to be a win. It's a comfortable tune-up game. Should be a pretty good game. I also have Houston Christian on September 13th as a home win for us. And it should be a kind of a depth building game. Like, it should be, for the first three, it should be the easiest. Should. It could also be a trap, but hopefully not. Hopefully go in there and we play them like we play any other opponent. Now that starts us off 3-0. 3-0. Which I love. The idea of starting the season off 3-0. I think that's easily done. Well, maybe not easily, but I think it's going to get done. Those first three games, there's going to be probably some things, that are a little bit sloppy, a little bit ugly, but, we should win all three of those games. The next game, I have it down as a loss. September 20th against number 14, currently number 14, Michigan. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. So, the Wolverines, they kind of have a talent edge against us. However, this is still a winnable game. I have it listed as a loss right now, but depending on how the Huskers how the Huskers do, I might change that prediction. Like, it's a game I think could go either way. I'm putting it as a loss to be on the safe side, but it could be a trap game for Michigan too. They might underestimate us or something. Then we have another home game against Michigan State. I had this as a win. There's a bit of an O-line, defensive line mismatch that favors Nebraska in this one, based on what I've read and what I've seen. Yeah, I have this as a win. I think, and let's say we do lose to Michigan. That still puts us at a 4-1 start. And then at home, basically. Because let's face it, Arrowhead Stadium is not a neutral site. It's home field advantage. Based on, ticket sales and whatnot. And proximity to Lincoln, let's face it, it might as well be a home game. So that really, is a good start for us. And then October 11th, we have Maryland. I have this as a win. I think Raiola's going to kind of steady the offense, and I think it's going to be a close road test, but I see us winning Maryland. Then October 17th, we have Minnesota. Rivalry games are always so hard to predict. I can see this one going either way. I have it to be safe, be on the safe side. I have it predicted as a loss, simply because it could very well end up being a trap game for Nebraska. And if it's a trap game for Nebraska, if we go in there and we underestimate them, let's say Minnesota's not doing the best or whatever, we think, oh, it's going to be a walk in the park. That could cause us to lose that game. That's why I have it a loss. We got that rivalry energy going on. It's in Minnesota, a Friday night game. It's going to be tough for us to win that game. I think we will. I think we have a chance, as far as that goes. But I have it listed as a loss at this time. I would love to eat crow on that one, and I'd love to be able to change that prediction as the season progresses. October 25th, we have Northwestern at home. When I think we're going to overpower a undermanned Northwestern. From my understanding, Northwestern is kind of struggling in the depth department and the talent department, and I think we're going to beat them. Then we have USC at home. I struggle with the two California teams as far as who we're going to beat and who we're going to lose to. And this might be a hot take, but I think we're going to win against USC. I think it's, a potential statement game. A late season potential statement game. I think Raiola is going to shine in this game. I think he's going to just come in and he's going to look good. He's going to perform well. And I think the team will be firing on all cylinders for this game. Then we have UCLA. And this is the one I put down as a loss. It's a pretty long travel game. We're going to be crossing 2 time zones to get there. And the Bruins are known for a pretty, tough pace when they are playing at home and whatnot. So I have it as a loss for those 2 reasons. I'd love to change that prediction as the season progresses. If I don't, I'd love to eat crow on that one. I really would. Then November 22nd, we have Penn State, another away game. Penn State has a lot of talent, and they have a lot of depth this year from everything I've read. And I have them as a loss. Again, I'd like to change that. I really, 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 really would. But Happy Valley, it's a tough place to play in, or, as a visiting team. And like I said, Penn State's got a lot of depth and talent this year, and you have to acknowledge that. I think Nebraska's a better team, but I just don't see us getting there against Penn State. I think it's going to be close. All these losses that I'm predicting, these 4 losses I'm predicting, I'm really hoping they're all winnable, but they're all going to be close. And, I can just, I don't see us doing that. And then we have the final game of the year at home against the people with the bad corn, Iowa. I think this is going to be a win. You know, this is a Black Friday rivalry. I think Nebraska's just going to out physical Iowa this year. Um, so that puts us at 8-4 for the season, 6-3 in the Big Ten. Um, no, that's not right. It'd be 5-4 in the Big Ten. Now the ceiling for this season, I'm thinking 9 to 10 wins is the ceiling. Um, but that's going to require the defense to mature quickly, and it's going to require Raiola to make sure he's protecting that ball, as well as the other offensive players who are really handling that ball. They need to protect that. The floor, God, I hope we don't hit the floor. I'd like to see it shatter the ceiling, but if we end up, same old, 6-6 is what I'm thinking is the floor. It's still a winning season, but it's not what we're wanting. That would be if the O line just kind of falters and the defense just can't handle Big Ten fronts. I don't see that happening. I really hope it doesn't happen. But you got if you're gonna put a ceiling on it, you got to put a floor. You know, we got a lot of talent in Lincoln this year. We got a lot of depth in a lot of areas. We have some issues that we got to work out, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'd love to see us win 9, 10, 11, 12 games. Hope we can do that. I'd love to see us in the playoffs. But even at 8-4, that's still really, really good. I don't know why I put 6-3 Big Ten. No, it's 5-4. I had a dirt to dirt moment there, guys. My bad. Um, but you know, we could win every game on this schedule. We really could. I think there's going to be a loss or two along the way, though, and that's okay. This is still a team that's still very much rebuilding. You know, if it's not this year, it'll be next year. I think no matter what, we're going to a bowl game this year. No matter what, we're depending on who we get paired up against. I think we're going to do pretty good. I know it's a long video, but we do have to get into Nebraska versus Cincinnati and kind of my predictions with this. So it's Thursday, August 28th, so a week from today, the Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be on ESPN. I don't know if any other carriers are going to have it, but it's going to be on. It's going to be on TV. It's going to be huge. Let's look at Cincinnati. You got Scott Satterfield, year 3 for him, year 3 for Coach Rule as well, but year 3 for Scott Satterfield. Their quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, he's a junior, dual threat from Indiana, 64% passer with 2,813 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions in 2024. Plus 447 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. So, he's a threat. He's not bad. You got defensive tackle Dante Corleone. Yeah, Corleone. Corleone. He's a junior, nicknamed the Godfather, one of the best defensive tackles in college football. And they have tight end Joe Royer, who's a senior, all Big 12 caliber tight end. They got some threats. They got some weapons, which is why I think the game's going to be kind of close. I think it won't be close for most of the game. I think they're going to have a late rally, which I'll get into. Um, Matchup keys for this would be Raiola versus front the UC front seven. Sorry, I had to kind of interpret my notes there a little bit. um, Big question there is, can Nebraska's rebuilt O line hold up against Corleone's inside? If yes, Raiola's passing game is going to open up. We have a wide receiver advantage. Key, Hunter, Barney Jr. versus Cincinnati secondary. This kind of equals a potential mismatch, and I think, we're going to do pretty good with that. Another thing we need to do is we need to contain Sorsby. Nebraska's defense must bottle up the quarterback for Cincinnati. Draws and scrambles, discipline is critical for our defense, and they need to be constantly pressuring him. They need to force draws. They need to force scrambles. We need to just hit their O line like a freight train. I mean, seriously, that's what we really need to do. Finally, the other matchup key is Archie Wilson. Is the Archie Wilson factor. Field position swings matter in a neutral site opener. Again, neutral. Wilson's ability to angle punts and pin deep could decide momentum with this game, and it really could. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a safety or two with the way this kid can kick. I can see him putting that ball in a position where our defense has the opportunity to either score safety or potentially score a touchdown on defense, like force a fumble and pick up the ball in the end zone. Touchdown Nebraska. So I mean, the way this kid can kick, I think that's all possible. So what can we expect from this game? I think as far as Nebraska's offense, I think we should see a fast tempo, spread concepts, lots of short to mid passes to set up deep shots. As far as Cincinnati's offense goes, I think we're going to see a lot of run pass option, heavy with QB runs, grind the clock style to limit possessions. I can see that. Special teams, I think Nebraska has a distinct edge to Wilson. I really do. Thanks to Wilson. I think Wilson is going to be like amazing. I think we're finally going to have a punter that we can be like, yeah, he's getting out there. He's going to do some good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're going to be really excited about that. So what do I think this is all going to boil down to? Well, I'm thinking Nebraska wins 34-24 against Cincinnati. We're favored in all the poll and all the on all the betting sites. We got more talent. We got more depth. It might not be pretty at some point, because at some point I think we're going to be panicking a little, because I think at some point Cincinnati's going to rally late in the game. But I also think that Nebraska's going to answer that rally when it's critical. I think Nebraska will finally answer a late rally from a team that they're winning against. And I think they're just going to take the air out of the ball, metaphorically. They're not going to pull what Tom Brady was pulling. But, that's beside the point. I think the Huskers are going to hit chunk plays through the air, win the turnover margin by at least +1. I think they're going to use punting to tilt field position. I think Cincinnati is going to rally to put the game put the game late in the game close. But I think Raiola, as long as he maintains his poise and he's playmaking, will seal it late in the fourth. That's kind of where I'm at right now. like I said, I'm predicting 8-4 this season. I'd love to see 9-3, 10-2, 11-1, possible playoff. 12-0 would be phenomenal too. I mean, I'd love that. But I think for this to be considered a truly successful season for Nebraska, I think we need to hit 8-4. Um, just my thoughts. I'm not saying we're not gonna make the playoffs. I'm saying I don't see it happening. Um, it would be amazing if we did. I mean, you know, it would be amazing. It really would. But looking at things realistically, looking at past performances, past, seasons and whatnot, looking at what we have now, I love the stuff that Matt Rule's been putting out on, social media. I think he's building up some great energy and some great culture for the team. And I think that's definitely going to pay off. Like I said, I'm going 8-4 this season. But like I said, the 4 losses I'm looking at, I don't know. I don't know. They can go either way. I think they definitely could go either way. I'm just erring on the side of caution as far as that goes. I love to eat crow on those 4 losses. And see Nebraska win. Um, like I said, I'll update my predictions as I see more from the team. Um, I tell you what, it's great to be back, guys. It really, really is. Um, anyways, this has been a long video. If you stuck with me through the video, even my shameless sales pitch at the end there, or at the beginning there, where I was promoting my new business. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to do those things. It helps the algorithm. Let me know, guys, in the comments below what you think the Huskers are going to do this year. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts and ideas on those things are. There will be in the description below a link to the website for my new business. If you want to check it out, check it out. Beyond that, go Big Red, and college football is back, and we are back too. So hang out with me, guys, as the season progresses, and share these videos with your friends, family members, whatever. All of that stuff helps me grow this channel. All of that stuff helps me be able to do more for you guys. And as always, go Big Red, and God bless.